I watch this team all the time, and they do a lot of things really well. But when you just play the numbers game here, and you've got two in the backfield, you're in 21 personnel, so you have seven blockers plus a quarterback that can run. And I know there's a guy outside to the left here, but really they're bringing in Buda Baker late, and they're trying to insert him into one of the linebacker positions. I mean, this is it. This is just you've got a man to block every single guy. There's no free space. And so they just had so many holes to run through. You know, there's some different ways, and obviously you wouldn't expect the Green Bay Packers to play man against this team from a wide receiver standpoint. Like that's not a good matchup for us, especially with Jared Alexander injured. But you do play zone, and if you play zone and you're going in motion, you're moving guys around, and all these guys have speed. And so when you can take the top off, and we talked about this last week, when you have your defensive backs, you have Xavier and all those guys playing off the line of scrimmage deep anyways, and then you've got a DK Metcalf, you've got a Smith-Njigba, you got a Tyler Lockett. All these guys can run fade routes. So you expand that field for that second level. So what is that? That makes those deep digs, all those deep crossers. Those linebackers have to get back. And so these guys run a screen game really effectively if those front four or front five give up field. I mean, there is nobody, if you're catching this ball at the 50 and the clearest defender is at the 38, like, you're feeling pretty good about life. And this is what happens. That's not only a function of the offensive line doing a great job and the running back doing a great job and the quarterback doing a great. That's a function of having three dudes at wide receiver that take the top off the defense. And you just see the way they have this covered up here. So they identify the coverage. They're going to play two shell. And a lot of times in this game, if they went trips or they went the running back out to that side, they were manning up the inside slot with that safety. So Smith-Njigba right here is manned up really against the safety up top. So he's got a one-on-one. And right now, if you're at the 8-yard line against the rookie, or you're at the 3 against the rookie, and your back's still turned, you haven't made a decision yet, like, you're losing this matchup to the corner. There's no way that safety, and what they do, so they run the hook and they run the flat to take care of the linebacker, but really to take care of that corner. So that second level throw to the corner is open. So they take care of the corner here. There's just no chance the safety's making this play, man. Like, this kid is all kinds of fast. I mean, he's wide ass open. And Gino can make every throw in the book now. The kid's got an arm on him. Not a kid anymore, I guess. So they go trips, and then they roll the running back out to the bubble. And they just do a quick look at DK. If the slant's open, and every team kind of knows they're running the slant over there, they run the slant or the go, right? But if it's open, great. If not, because they ran that bubble, that zone softens up, the middle linebacker follows them out, and they're going again. That deep safety has got that middle guy, and look what happens here. So they just do a quick check to the slant. The slant's not there. The linebacker went out to the running back, and look, 11 is wide ass open again. And kid had a monster game, and he's had a ton of monster games. He's a hell of a player, but they're doing a good job when you've got three dudes that have all been number ones at some point in their life on the same NFL football team. Defensively, it's like the Green Bay Packers have to go, okay, do we want to take away DK? Do we want to take away 11? Do we want to take, Lockett's really not that, I don't think is that decision now. He's a guy that's just going to make a couple plays in the game. I don't know if he's the one anymore. But you don't really have. Oh, by the way, even if Kenneth Walker III's not there, like, they still have got Zach Charbonnet now. They're going to throw the ball over 60% of the time. So this is probably how are we going to take care of one of those receivers? But there's always the other one, and it's like the minute that you disrespect DK Metcalf and don't double team him, he's going to have a big game. Go motion over, get two tight ends, 12 personnel. Always getting into the right position here. And you look at the offset, you can tell a story here by the tight ends and just where they're lined up, right? Okay, they prefer to throw the football, but you see how they've widened the spacing with 88. They're coming motion across. And they're just running that lead with the guard pull. It just turns into just old school counter or stutter. Really, this is counter. and they're using the backside Y as the fullback. But look at the hole here. And you, even with 12 personnel, if you're not loading the box up and you're trying to just get cute and come from depth, I think you're in a lot of trouble with this team. I said, don't trick yourself here, right? And what I mean by that is, if I can just go back here. Nope, maybe a little bit more. You right now, you got a guy coming in late. The running back is all the way over the tackle. Now, usually when the running back's all the way over the tackle, if you don't just if you're a casual film watcher, and I saw this, I'd go, "Oh, this is a pass." Why? Because very rarely is a guy lined up that far over the tackle and still taking the ball. This is usually a way to get out of the route. Okay, but we've seen this play. We see this from the Green Bay Packers so much. They go, they go that motion over the top, and then what do? They run it underneath the backside. But there's not a linebacker in the box right now. They don't have a single linebacker in the box. And this is what they've been able to do recently. Now the Packers will be in a better situation. Again, I talked about game planning. They see this every day in practice. So a couple things here. They do a good job of running a lot of cross motion stuff, and then they'll end up just like K5, K4, full slide one side or the other, and have that tight end and that running back block the backside end or backside linebacker. And it just changes up the look because those guys are literally dropping back so often that I think that really helps. But it also gives that backside defensive end. And I'm kind of thinking, specifically about 53 and 57 on the Packers. Mosby and name slipping, but they are not as interested in the run fake. If you notice, they kind of made, particularly 57, he's kind of made his name as a guy who's just like, I'm going after the quarterback, man. I'm gonna get these numbers. So in some of this stuff, if you just keep your head down and go for the quarterback and not worry about the play fake, you have a chance to beat a tight end coming backside or a running back coming from the backside. I respect Geno here. He's about to take a big hit, ends up delivering this ball on the 15-yard in cut. In single safety, you see the safety's got his back turned. Again, 11. I'm not going to try to butcher his name anymore. Really, really good player. Again, Geno getting them in the right play. And at this point, this is what I'm talking about sometimes when you watch these games, you're kind of like, all right, how many times we're going to try to have Buddha insert on the backside? Like, you're not fooling anybody here. The linebacker's out of position. There's nobody to fill. And Buddha, I coached Buddha in high school, man. Like, you guys are unbelievable, but he's not a box linebacker. Like, what the hell are we doing? He's not a big guy. So this is a fool's errand. This is too easy. And so the Packers have to do a really good job of just being kind of schematically sound, I think, when we play these guys. You got trips. This is what I'm talking about. You get pressure up the middle. Now they did it with actual bringing an extra man here this time. And Geno's going to try, like, he's a pass first guy. And so this is one of those situations where he could just dump it right now to the running back, but he doesn't. He's trying to look for more options. They don't run the scramble drill like that. We did with Rodgers for the last, those 10 years, because he's not quite that kind of player. But he'll hold on to this thing, and this is where you can kind of get him in situations. You got to get these guys behind the six. When they stay on schedule, it's a real problem. 2 by 2, see the same kind of idea there. And now it's, again, that question of how to match up. You think you got everything covered, and all of a sudden you decide to single up DK, and it's like, DK is a damn freak of nature, if you're just looking at, and Evan Williams is on, I don't know what his status is with the concussion, but you start looking at, okay, like, who's going to cover DK? Like, who? I mean, just on the planet, like, who the hell covers a 6'4"? The dude's like bigger than I am. So what do you do with guys like that? And again, this is garbage time, but you just can't have a situation where you walk the Mike linebacker up, and these guys, listen, this is one of those teams where early on they're trying to run the zone, and then they were like, all right, we're better at doubles, we're better at pin and pull, and they're kind of finding their groove a little bit right now. So you have to expect a lot of it. And if you, they're actually better at pinning at the tackle position than getting the double. So it's just like, how do you want? We're a team because we're playing that 3-tech that you're going to see a lot more of that double. So it's probably honestly net better for us being the Packers. But like, this is another situation. I know this was a 2-minute deal, but you're in this situation where you're like, guys, let's not give away free yards, because the last thing you need to do with a team that passes the ball 63% of the time is let them average like 6 yards a carry. Just stupid. Good finish there by old 6'7", huh? What a unit.